want to speak to a couple of things. We have 15 officials here with us this year. I'd like to read off their names. Some of them are here. All of them will be here come tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock when we'll have our meeting. But we have Albert Buckles from Plano, Texas, KB Burdette, Maubelle, Arkansas, Jeff Campbell, Claremore, Oklahoma, Nathan Chitwood, Centralia, Missouri, Bobby Daw, Joliet, Illinois, Dave Drucker, Edwardsville, Illinois, Brad Gaston, Benton, Arkansas, Nathan Howie, Danville, Illinois, Ronnie Jones, Bloomington, Illinois, John Moore, Olathe, Kansas, Dan Nowakowski, Kansas City, Clyde Owens, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charles Robinson, Bristow, Virginia, Marvin Royal from Denton, Texas, Brooke Wells from Grand Island, Nebraska. I'd like to give them a hand. Because you're very likely going to be booing them tomorrow. Let me start off by saying this is the only time when I have a chance to speak to all the players in a group. What Mr. Becker had shared with you, this is a national tournament. We're going to run it as such. Primary focus, as far as the tournament is concerned, it's a players' tournament. And sportsmanship is going to be a highlight of our tournament. So I encourage you, coaches, talk to your players, make sure they understand the severity of a fight rule, the penalties that are involved, and encourage them that sportsmanship will be a focus for the total tournament. Now, I'm not sure who that was just coughed, but whoever it was, I strongly urge you to get it looked at medically, because I had a dear friend of mine that coughed like that only once and it killed him. Of course, he happened to be in his neighbor's bedroom closet. We're going to play the tournament, men. We're going to play the tournament with shirt tails in. This is a national tournament. We want to present a national tournament vision to all the people that'll come to watch you men perform. The officials, I'll meet with the coaches afterwards, after this meeting, and share some insight to them as far as the game conduct is concerned. Now, get back to trying to do a little bit of humor. I'm not a public speaker. I've been able to generate apathy where there once was enthusiasm. If you talk to a convention of midgets, got a standing ovation, didn't even realize it. And just 6 months ago, I was in Mexico City speaking to the International Chiropectate Festival, and I had a sensational run down there. A guy one morning walked out on his front porch to get his newspaper. And first step he took on the porch was he saw a snail. And he reared back with that right leg and kicked that snail out in the yard as far as he could. Took his paper, went back in. 2 years later, he hears a knock on the door. He goes to the door, opens the door, and there's that same snail. The snail looks up at him and says, "What was that all about?" The same snail got up on top of a turtle and goes, "Wee!" You don't want pressure on them. Oh, I want to tell you, the duck went into the store. The duck went into the store and said, "You got any corn?" The guy says, "No, I don't have any corn. Go down to the feed store if you want corn." The next day, that duck comes waddling back and walks in the store and he says, "Hey, you got any corn?" The guy says, "No, I told you yesterday don't have any corn." He said, "Get out of here." And he go down to the feed store. The third day, the duck came back. "Got any corn?" He said, "Duck, I'll tell you what, I am fed up with trying to deal with you. If you come in here one more time and ask for any corn, I'm going to nail your feet to the floor." And boy, the next day, here come that old duck in. That old duck come waddling in and walked up to the counter and says, "You got any nails?" The guy says, "No. How about some corn?" Drunk took his dog into the bar, walked in and said, "Hey, my dog can talk." And the bartender says, "So what?" He says, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll bet the house a drink that my dog can talk." The bartender said, "Listen, man, if your dog don't talk, you're going to buy and pay for a round for everyone that's in here." And so that old drunk said to his dog, said, "What's on top of this building?" The dog says, "Roof." And he says, "What's my name?" The dog says, "Ralph." And he said, who was the greatest baseball player of all time?" "Roof." That bartender said, "Hey," he says, "I've heard all this I want. You get out of here." He says, "That's terrible. You're nothing but a drunk." Threw him out. Threw that drunk out and threw his dog out on top of him. That drunken dog are laying there, and that dog looks up at his master and says, "Did I screw that up? Was it DiMaggio?" Well, I love to have him there, man. The old farm boy. The old farmer was driving his pickup truck out in the country, and he tipped it over into a ditch. And it was upside down. The farmer was down at the bottom of the ditch, truck laying on top of him. State patrolman came up, got out of his car, looked around the truck, saw a pig there, had a broken neck. Took out his pistol out of his holster and shot it. And it looked on the other side of the truck and saw a goat had 2 broken legs. And he took his pistol and shot it. And he looked down to where that farmer was laying under the truck. He said, "Hey, you all right down there?" That farmer looked up at him and says, "Yeah, I've never felt better in my life." Oh, yeah. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the Pope was in St. Louis. And as they got ready to take him back out the airport in a big stretch white limousine, from downtown St. Louis, the Pope said, "You know," he said, "I have never driven one of these. Can I drive this out to the airport?" And the chauffeur said, "Well, sure, sir." So he got in there, and they pulled out of downtown St. Louis, got on I-70, and the Pope pumped it up to about 95. And the state patrolman saw him go down I-70 toward the airport and pulled him over. And got out, went up to that white stretch limousine, looked in the front seat, turned around and walked back to the car. Got back in the squad car, and he said, his partner says, "Well, did you give them a ticket?" "No, they're too highbrow, too heavy for me." "Well, what do you mean? Who was in the back seat? Was it the president or was it the governor?" The guy says, I don't know who it was, but he must be important because he got the Pope driving for him." Oh, and I gotta tell you something about John Spacey. John Spacey and I were standing out downtown the other day, and a pigeon dropped a smidgen right on John's forehead. And I told John, I said, "John," I said, "hold on, I'll go get a Kleenex." John says, no need to, that pigeon will be 5 miles from here by the time you get back. So, no, John, I get about John, but he's not as dumb as he looks, and that's to his benefit. Now, last year, this is my end. This is my end. Last year, I'd had you a peculiar song. Now, this year, this is my peculiar song to share with you. Now, you got to understand, this is about an 87 and an 85-year-old getting married. We got married last Friday. My girl was right there beside me. Our friends were all gone. We were alone, side by side. We were so happily wed when she got ready for bed then. Her teeth in her hair she placed in a chair, side by side. God, I can't believe I'm doing it. One glass eye so tiny, one hearing aid so small. Then she took one leg off and placed on the chair by the wall. I stood there broken hearted. Most of my girl had departed. I slept on the chair, there was more of her than
All right, for you kids, supervisor of officials from the Missouri Valley, long-time Big Ten official, multiple Final Fours and national championship games, and a singer of wonderful songs, Jim Boomer Bain.